Hello, this is Mostly Harmless. I used to go by the moniker of Raging Monkey, but I've actually got two, and somebody stole Raging Monkey for another game I played a little bit earlier on. So I changed my name to Mostly Harmless, and I'm going to keep this one from now on. Certainly for Men of War. So, this is another Shoutcast. I was added by this guy, Buffercoma, on Steam, and he asked to play a game. I said, yeah, that'd be grand. It's very nice to know that some people enjoy my Shoutcast well enough to come and play with me. That doesn't sound wrong. Men of War, yes. No innuendos here. But it's nice to know that people do like my Shoutcast enough. I see no reason at all why I wouldn't want to come and play Men of War with one of the people who like my Shoutcast. So by all means, hit me up on Steam, and I'd be glad. It's a 2v2. Buffercomb's my teammate, facing Noctite and Metzger RO. This is the map that I find the hardest to play in, I think, out of the 2v2 lots. It seems like I like middle ground maps where there's sort of an average amount of sightlines and an average amount of fighting going on. But this one, the sightlines are very, very open. It's quite hard to avoid sort of sniping tanks or things like that. When maps are cluttered, when I lose, I either get out-microed or out-macroed. I mean, that can happen on any map, but on maps like this, it tends to be because people are a little bit too sneaky with sort of tank placement, or they get sniped by cheeky tanks, cheeky AA guns, or snipers and stuff like that. So, like I said, a little bit hard I find this map. Fortunately, I'm starting off on the side that, for me at least, is a little bit easier. My teammate's got the harder side, which, as I said, has really, really wide open sight lines. I get the standard infantry squad at the beginning, so that I can utilise the machine gun a little bit better than I think I could. Probably the assault squad. As I said, open sight lines means that you want to have sort of long-range weapons, so the 10-shot rifles and the machine gun do that admirably for this. He's done the general tactic of just mobbing all of your people into the middle, keeping your machine gun further back to cover. I don't know if this is a good tactic. I don't know if I like using it, because it seems to be it's an all-or-nothing job, right? Either you win and you keep most of your troops, or you lose and you get most of your troops owned. I generally do the latter for some reason, so I tend not to get them all involved. Don't know if this means that I get picked off a little bit, one by one, maybe a little bit, but I think it allows a little bit more cover and sort of sight lines over around your enemy. Of course, the greater number of guys currently, but sort of half my squad here. But it means also that he has been forced to spread his troops out as well, because he had a sort of wide-pronged attack, so he was a bit, I'm sure, afraid for his right-hand front as well as his center front as well. The one thing I do need to do in the future is to keep an eye out for where my machine gun is, because I currently have no idea where my machine gun soldier is. There he is. Okay, got him. He should be utilised a little bit more than currently is being. Questioning what to get now as a sort of support gun, I thought, well, my general playing style is to just get a fuckload of infantry, but on this map I tend to get owned by 20mm sort of auto cannons, the 20mm variety. So I thought, oh, well, why not bring one of those and see how that fares me. One of my obstacles quite frequently to my playstyle is how to get all of mounted guns and surrounded by sandbags without getting owned up myself. The last map that I played and didn't record because people left, I was getting well, I saw what was it? It was another 20mm, I think. Brought out Cromwell to deal with it and started pumping HE rounds to go up the sandbags. Along comes out of nowhere Panzer IV and meets Cromwell. And it seems like that happens an awful lot when you're taking out mounted guns, because you need a few shots to take out the sandbags. Speaking of panzers, of course, having just brought out the 20mm to deal with infantry, because that tends to work, exactly the same situation is about to happen to me. It's the last game I brought out 20mm, he's brought out Panzer, like I brought out my Cromwell. Downside is that we have nothing to take this guy out. My teammate brought a Jeep for some reason. I'm looking at what I can get, and I'm a long way away from the tank. So he parks us in the middle. Not the best thing to do. He's not seen my 20mm yet, so for all he knows, I could have an AT gun. As it is, as I say, I got nothing. But he doesn't know that, right? He's seen one squad of infantrymen so far, and unless he's got a spotter, which I haven't previously seen, and I don't think he has, because that sniper hasn't started shooting the 20mm yet, until of course the 20mm starts shooting at him. Takes care of him mostly. He has no idea what I've got, and parking a tank out into the out in the open is not the best plan. It is lucky for him that we don't have anything. It's also the J, not the best tank. So were we to get a side shot on, that would be, or even a frontal shot with 6-pounder, that would probably take out the J. So considering the Cromwell, Crusader, yeah, Crusader's been brought out against me a couple of times, but I do prefer the Cromwell. The M4A4 can go fuck itself. Anyone who watched my last video, I might put a link up to it, will know I hate the M4 chassis. Just crap. So Cromwell comes out. I figured the Cromwell traditionally has quite a large gun. It's got the 75mm. Not bad front armour. It's not the armour really, it's the long range of the front gun that I need. That's going to take out any German armour that he might have. As you can see just up there, he's parked his car just to the left of the building left on the screen, and sort of in the middle of those two buildings. What he's then gone and done is he's turned it side on. Now I'm all for hiding tanks behind buildings, going hull down, and hiding your tank away so it doesn't get blown up. But if you're going to do it, for fuck's sake, don't have your tank hiding halfway outside the building, and don't put it side on in the building, right? Buildings are good because they do slow AP rounds down a little bit, but they don't do it that much. And certainly a side shot to a Panzer III, that's going to penetrate if it's through the corner of the building. So you're going to put your tank behind the building. Still do face it, facing towards the building. You're going to leave it there any substantial amount of time. And also, I mean, really, even if you're not leaving it there for a substantial amount of time, you don't want to be crossing the battlefield side on when there could potentially be tanks around. Again, he knows that I've got my 20mm out, but it's later in the game enough to have a tank as well. So there we go, side on, tracked. No idea why he's got a side on. Yeah, a little pissed off here that my teammate drove his little tank in and trying to get involved as well. Didn't quite move. Just terrified that it was going to penetrate his back armour. Because he put it right in the line of fire, unfortunately it doesn't. And straight after I've killed his tank, knowing that there's not going to be anything else over there, because I could see his Hetzer on the minimap, I moved my tank over. Just relocate so he doesn't know where it is. Don't mind being side onto the battlefield whilst he's rotating and moving about there, because as I say, he's only got his Hetzer there.
Another one. Aim is in the
Fella likes his MG42s. Understandably, I think your as Germans then, your MG42 is your certainly. I do like to think that I'm alright with using grenades, except watching that guy just lay there and be good. Probably should have moved that way. I think it's gone straight into something else. So he's got these two machine guns in setup positions. I really should have implemented my my 20mm a little bit better here, but I don't know. I'm a bit afraid. I don't like losing units. I've always played a little bit of a tank in RTSs hitherto. Unfortunately, Metaphor doesn't really reward the tank. It rewards people who push. And so I'm a little bit afraid of this 20mm getting blown up. as a result, I like to keep it mobile, so hence I have to deploy the sandbags. But really what I should have done is I should have just put it right up the front by that train, smack in the open when I knew there was no one there, put sandbags around it, and that would have really forced them to deal with it. They would have had no choice but to engage with that, and that would be the focus of their attention rather than attacking the flank. I get the impression that deception more and more and keeping your opponent concentrated on things that maybe you do care about but maybe you also don't care about is probably the art to winning this game quite well. Then you can sort of concentrate on doing something that you give a shit about rather than projecting something ultimately as cheap as it is. And you don't want to just throw away in something stupid, but if it dies in the pursuit of you, maybe flanking a tank or something like that. I like this little game like Hetzer. Staring down a Hetzer point blank, dangerous work, and as you can see, the turret damage. I thought the reason why I stood there was just because it had some really good damage to what I did loading time. So Cromwell down. Luckily, he's still there. He's not finished off yet, so if he gets to repairing it. As you can hear, my voice is a little croaky. I've got oncoming some throat infection, which is a bit of a shame. Lucky Bastard just gets his grenade off, and unfortunately doesn't kill him. That was a machine gunner in the side. Gets quite back. It seems this guy's quite good with dodging grenades. I generally quite like to cook grenades off and use first person. Don't know why I didn't in first person. It didn't occur to me. I didn't cook it just because I knew he was going to die when he got around the corner. So I haven't seen anything from this guy in quite a little while. Being the defensive chap that I am, I buy a 17-pounder to guard against tanks, as I presume they are. If you're making German, you generally assume a fair amount of Panther 4s, or possibly even save enough for Tigers. I warn him careful because, like I said, we've seen nothing for a little while, and indeed, he's just brought out an house H. Thank you, Mr. Teammate. Yes. I think I was a little bit more on the ball looking for tanks than you were at the time. It's going to cause my teammates some problems. So yeah, I brought the 17-pounder out just because if you're British, I think the one thing that can safeguard your defences more than any other factions is probably your 17-pounder. It's a grand gun. Just sits at the back. You could probably correct me on this, and I'm probably correctable, but other than the super massive heavy tanks, it's not a tank in the game that can't be penetrated by a 17-pounder. As far as I know, maybe the Russian KVs, but you're not likely to be facing the Russian KVs if you are British. The rifle grenadesman on this is fantastic. I really like the rifle grenade. This is exactly what I should have done with the 20mm earlier on. I should have got the tank crew. But I should have put sandbags around him. See, I love that rifle grenade, man. Fantastically useful. Really makes the British assault squad. Makes up for the rather lacking in British machine gun. But I'm quite liking this. Is the first time that I've used an assault squad with the backing of a 20mm Erdogan. And I quite like it. The up until the Tiger takes out the 20mm. That's fuck all. The 20mm is going to do against the Tiger, and it's going to become obsolete when it comes out. So really, what I should have done was probably used it a little bit better to my advantage earlier on. I've dropped smoke. Unfortunately, the squad leader dies there, but he does capture the point, and that puts us on 3-2. Whereas a little bit earlier we were losing a few points. Aren't I glad that I got that 17-pounder now? It's exactly what I wanted.